Alright. On this table, in this box, is another sewing machine. It is a little Singer. I believe this is a Model 20. The Sew Handy. This is a machine that I am checking out for someone. They want it working for their kids and grandkids to play with. This was originally sold as a toy machine, but later was sold also as an ultra portable little machine. I'm not sure what age this is exactly. It is not the earliest example because it's got this front casting trim, and it is numbered for the order to thread it. And from what I've seen, the earliest models do not have numbers on the thread locations. So spool pin 1, 2, 3 is through a hole on the top here. And as you crank the machine, and this machine cranks away from you, it lifts the spring, and then the thread pulls forward through the hole, and then it goes over the tensioner, which is number 4. It goes through this hole number 5 to make sure that it goes in the tensioner. 6 is the top of the needle bar, and then the needle it uses is a very, very short needle. So you cannot thread it with the presser foot lifted. And if you put a standard needle in this machine, it will not work. You have to get the stubby little short needles for this machine. Let's see. This has a packet 24 by 1. I think a standard needle is a 15 by 1. Alright. And I don't have a scrap of fabric within arm's reach. There we go. Okay, I got a scrap of fabric. So this is a lock stitch machine, or a chain stitch machine. So and this tension is very high up top here. Also, to finish your stitch, you trim the thread out here, which I've put all my sewing machine stuff away for a hot second. There. So you cut the thread above where the needle is, and then let the final loop go. Because it's a chain stitch, if you don't finish the stitch, it all pulls out. But this machine is doing its stitch properly and pretty nicely. Although this is set for what should be the longest stitch length. So it is not feeding very well forward. So I'm gonna we'll pull our thread out here. And it's also bunching the fabric as it feeds. You can see it bunches the fabric as it's feeding. So it's yeah. There. So yeah, I'm gonna get this tension loose, because this knob God, that's tight. Alright. That is turning bit by bit, so that tensioner, and then the other thing here. Look at this feed system. Okay, so there's just a spring returning the feed as it slides here, and then the big cam that moves everything forward and back. And then the feed travel is limited by this block here. And it looks like that also is not really Alright. Well, I'm going to clean this under here to make sure that this is moving as freely as it can move. And then I'm going to see if there's a way to adjust this. It looks like it's got a screwdriver, so it might be able to adjust the stopper. But that's kind of grimy and looks sticky, so I guess we'll clean that and then see if this feeds a little better. But it does seem to stitch okay. About as well as chain stitch machines stitch. Alright, so this little Model 20, the hand wheel cranks clockwise, which is turning the reverse direction from a normal Singer. Or from most Singers, and there are 2 screws that hold the shaft in for that hand wheel, but the whole machine is timed from this gear, so you don't have to worry about it. You can take this hand wheel off and clean your machine without losing time or any adjustments in the machine at all, which I've done because there is a ton of thread that has been wrapped into this machine, and it's in here. So I've been oiling and just running the tip of a knife blade into the space around this pin, especially when it comes around the center here, so I can poke in there and get some of this loose thread out. Take my angle tweezers and reach down in there. And let's see now. And I'm turning it back and forth to help work that thread out from underneath here. There's also a bunch of thread on the back side here. So I'm grabbing hold of that and gently unrolling it off of this shaft, and oiling that helps it pull free and break up too. So that is what I'm doing here, is working on that thread and turning this back and forth until a tail of thread can get reached. With my tweezers back in there, and then yeah, I think also that I'm going to take the table off and see if I can see down in the shaft here. Is this? Yes. So get the table off of here. So one nice thing about this machine is that it's very simple, and all of the timing is attached directly to the single cog here. So as long as you don't take, I think that screw is what holds this bottom hook in place. As long as you don't take that off of this machine, you should be fine. And there's a screw up here. I wonder if, by taking these two screws off, we'll see in the back of the machine. Oh, that went all the way through. I wonder what that's a pivot point for something. So I'm not going to move the machine. Okay. So that went all the way through, and it just holds these parts, but these parts all are going to be okay. And that pin didn't have anything on it, but it does give us a little better access behind this gear to check and get a hold of some of these threads. So I'm gonna keep digging around on this gear and getting all that extra thread off of it. So, Stanley blade cut some of that up and got another tail out here. I'm going to keep working on that until I get all the loose thread off of, or all the thread wound off of there. Okay, I worked at this as much as I could, and then I got to the point where I needed some more space behind that gear. So there's just a slot in this shaft, and the cam here for the that operates the feet has a set screw in it. And I popped that set screw out, and I pulled the lower hook off so that now there's more room and we can see all that thread wound up in there. And I've pulled a big knot of thread out of there already. So just having this extra space, there's some of the thread. So I can get tweezers down in there to get, look, the last bit off. Alright. There. Now we can see that all the thread's out of there, so I can push this back in and pull that bit of goo out of here because the back of the machine is in place. Now the cam for the feed dog operation can just go on, and then the slot, this hook only goes in one of two ways, and you have to just pick the direction, pick the one. See how it's turning when the needle is down and then this hook is up? So that's the correct direction around for that. And now I just have to retime the feed dogs. So put our screw, our set screw in here, and we want the cam to be down when the hook is up, and then it rotates around as we go. So we'll try that. Alright, so up, and then they drop, and the hook, and then they're up, and yeah, okay, so I think that's good there. And then the last thing is that set screw also determines this hook clearance, so I gotta put the needle back in the machine. Such a stubby little needle. All right. Alright, it's pushed in place, and we'll tighten that screw, and then it should come down around, and oh yeah, that this is too far away, so we gotta loosen that, Loosen the set screw, and then draw our hook out, and then we can there we go. It is just barely passing behind the needle now. Alright. And then need to get this cam to start. Hit our okay. That's where we want that cam to be because it's at our lowest position. Okay. Alright, now see as it rotates up, drives the feed dog, drops down with the needle, and then comes up with the needle and drives back. Okay, so that's going. And our spread there, that's working. Alright. I think we got this back in one piece. So let's put the back in place. Need to rotate so that the needle bar is down so that the little bumper that hits that tension release here is down and out of the way. And then we can stick our long screw back in here on the front. Good there. Let's put our table back on. Chrome has got some rust. Maybe I should polish that. Alright. Might take that off and polish it, but for now I just need to check this out, make sure it's doing its chain stitch properly. Can't do that without the table on it. Alright, all good there. So we'll just this is a flat here. And that flat, I believe, goes on the back here. But it just needs to get snugged in, and then there's this front set screw and the rear set screw. Front set screw and this rear screw that also holds the back of the machine on. Alright, motion is good. Let's clamp this down, and I'm going to move the camera.